It's another lazy summer day on an immaculate 100-acre farm outside of Asheville. Cross-fenced, rolling hills punctuate this magnificent country estate, and it seems to be 1,000 miles away from big city noise and pollution. While this pastoral scene in rural North Carolina features only a small number of horses, it's only fair that we point out there are several thousand more horses all lined up together in that barn just up the hill. But don't expect to saddle one up. The horses corralled in this enormous garage are resting peacefully under the hoods of more than 24 classic Corvettes, spanning the first, second, and third generations with a sampling of the fifth and sixth. And don't adjust your video screen. If they appear to all be black, they are.
When I first decided I was going to do the collection, I had a couple of black cars, and I thought, well, I'll just start there. And then as I researched more, I found that the black cars were much harder to find. And of course, being black, you can't hide anything, so you really have to have a nice car.
If nice cars is the criteria, he's home free. By model year, the Corvettes start with a like-new 54 and cover every succeeding year through 1968, with both coupes and convertibles in each of several of those years. A more than impressive selection of power includes fuelies, big blocks, and rarities. An example of that is this 66 tanker coupe, showing the mandatory heater and radio delete option required by GM when the 36-gallon fuel tank car was ordered new. And though it would be nearly impossible to do so, don't overlook this little 63 split-window coupe dragster. The four-wheeled rocket was custom built by Bill and his associates and sports a unique aluminum 454 custom ramjet fuel injection system, a Richmond 6-speed, Mickey Thompson tires, and a sound that's downright intimidating.
That goes way back when I was a child. I was always loved cars and prided myself in knowing what kind of car. When my dad would say, well, what kind of car is that? When I was 5 and 6 and 7 years old, and I knew all of them. But the Corvettes and Chevrolets were always my favorite.
His favoritism is apparent in another garage nearby. Chevrolets in every direction, each screaming a return to the 1950s and 60s, and the glory days when aesthetics, function, and style all came together in September of each year. The game room and decor complement these classic vehicles and transport visitors back to a simpler time. And if any of them need a little attention, that's covered in a third building where a complete working shop with lift provides whatever rare TLC any of these cars might demand. Some impressive non-Chevys are lurking around, and that category includes a drop-dead gorgeous collection of Harleys and Indians. And note their color as well. And when staff and guests get hungry, a private country diner with a full commercial kitchen is only steps away. Steps away, that is, from Corvette heaven. Okay, Bill, you have this magnificent collection all lined up in chronological order, but it sort of begs the question, why don't you have what a lot of people consider to be the Holy Grail, the 1953, the first Corvette?
Well, that's easy to answer because it didn't make any black ones in '53.
Makes sense to me. And it also makes perfect sense that he's put a lot of thought into his Corvette acquisitions over the years.
It's been a tremendous investment for me. And some of these cars, when I bought them many years ago, I thought, boy, I'm paying way too much money for this car. But I like it. This one's very hard to come by, so I'm going to buy it. Well, of course, now that's proven to be a good move. They're just special and getting rarer by the day, just harder to come by.
One vet that has eluded him so far is a 65 fuel-injected coupe. So if you know of one out there that might be for sale, Bill's interested, but don't forget, it has to be black. And since this garage is pretty full, is there yet another garage on the horizon?
There's bound to be other cars. Now, I'm kidding myself. When I built this building here, I thought, oh, I'll never fill this one up. Well, you know how that goes. No such thing as too much garage.
So maybe the question is, after you've assembled one of the most impressive Corvette collections to be found in private hands, how do you know when to quit?
Yeah, there'll be more. I'm having too much fun to quit now.
Our thanks to Bill Mullis and his staff for allowing us to visit his incredible, unique collection of black Corvettes. Now stay with us. Vet Collections continues in just a moment.